Please take the time to visit podsurvey.com/peasants to complete a short 21-question survey. Participants in the survey will be entered into a chance to win a $100 Amazon gift card. The survey can be taken multiple times, so feel free to visit back each month for your chance to enter the drawing. Please help to support the show by using our Amazon links located in the description anytime you purchase anything from Amazon. It's a great way to support the show while just going about your normal business shopping on Amazon.com. Also, check out our storefront for Drunken Peasants recommended merchandise. Patreon pledges of $5 or more will now receive 2 private shows each month. In addition to the private shows, Patreon pledges of $10 or more will receive the Drunken Peasants post show after each episode of the Drunken Peasants, Ben and Billy's monthly shitty movie review, and regular behind-the-scenes vlogs with Ben and Billy. Sign up anytime to catch the future shows as well as past content. If you want to catch the post shows but you're not a patron, click the join link below this video to become a member of the Drunken Peasants channel. In addition to each post show, you'll also get special badges and emojis that you can use in the Drunken Peasants live chat. Streamlabs will be open for the duration of each episode. Click the link below to send us a message. Donations $20 and above will be read out through text-to-speech and will require our immediate attention. All donations below $20 will be read at the end of each segment. Keep an eye out for our weekly Streamlabs goal, which if we meet, we will do an extra show the following week. If you find any content you'd like to see us cover on the show, send it to drunkenpeasantsinbox@gmail.com. All submissions will be reviewed for possible usage in a future episode. Click the Discord link in our description to join the Drunken Peasants Discord. Interact with other Drunken Peasants fans in text and voice chat, as well as the peasants themselves. Visit the Google Play Store and download the Drunken Peasants app to catch the audio version of the show while you're on the road. In addition to the app, the audio-only version of the show is also available through iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud, and other audio platforms. That's all we have for now. Enjoy the show.
Underground has the best video clips in town. DP Underground has the best video clips around. TV Underground has the best video clips in town. TV Underground has the best video clips around. DP Underground has the best video clips in town. DP Underground has the best video clips around. DP Underground has the best video clips in town. TV Underground has the best video clips around. DP Underground has the best video clips in town. DP Underground has the best video clips around.
Hello everyone, happy Halloween! Halloween came early this year. Halloween is now February 1st going forward. I decree that this be true, and so it is. And so it ever shall be. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me here on my... What do you mean, what the fuck? Someone was complaining about... Oh, they're like, oh, it's not Halloween. Yeah, I know. That's from an old Video Game Underground Halloween commercial that came out a long-ass time ago. I think it still works with the song. The remake that Marshall Manson made. It's pretty awesome. So I'm enjoying my lunch, which is just this one tall beer. It's this beer, this German Bavarian beer that I enjoy. But welcome to all of you. By the way, just in case you missed last night's Drunken Peasants episode, Subscribestar is now active. So if you want to support us through Subscribestar, feel free to go there. Support us there as well. It's open. It's ready to go. Some people have already made the move, and some people have come back that canceled because they didn't like Patreon. They came back, and now they're through Subscribestar. We give you the option. All of the options are exactly the same with either one. That's ready to go. Yeah, and I know this is a little earlier than usual. It's almost noon here. It's 15 minutes away from noon. Yeah, guys, the world is round, so it's anytime, anywhere, as far as hours go, and then there are also half-hour time zones in some places, which I think are pretty strange. What I plan on doing here is opening up the floor to some Discord callers. If you guys want to jump into the general voice chat in the DP Discord, I might just pull you in and we can talk about stuff. So that should be pretty cool, right? And yes, there's also a DP episode tomorrow. That's the bonus show, the weekly bonus show. And then on Sunday on the Ultra Perspective on the BENPAI channel, we're actually going to be doing a live reaction of the Super Bowl. So whether you're a sports ball fan or not, we will make it easy for you to watch, and we'll also be reacting to the commercials. You won't be able to see it, but you can watch along with us. Whether that be on your TV or you find a stream, a bootleg stream somewhere out there, find it. What time is the DP show tomorrow? It's usually around 5:15 p.m. Pacific time. So we've got some stuff to talk about. Let's get into this. Let's get into it. Do you guys like that catchphrase I just came up with? Let's get into it. I came up with that on my own. And by the way, part of the reason why I do these shows on this channel is to kind of spread awareness that, you know, we have a goal to meet. So if you guys want to help me meet the goal at all, just let me know. I'll read it at the end of the segment here if you want to send us a Streamlabs. Also, like and share the stream, please. You know, this channel used to pull bigger numbers, and then it was inactive for a few months, or maybe like a month and a half. And that just kills it. YouTube is just merciless now. YouTube is merciless with how they share and notify your streams. So help me out here. Let's get some more people in here. Let's do it. Let's do it live. And let's talk about Senator Cory Booker trying to be Obama 2.0. Here's CNN's coverage of it from earlier today.
A big new entry as of this second. New Jersey Senator Cory Booker is making it official. He is running for president.
We want to go straight to CNN's Rebecca Buck, who is live near Booker's home in Newark, New Jersey.
Do you need to be outside of his home to talk about this? I think it's such a waste when they fly a reporter to go to New Jersey, or, well, they probably didn't have to fly her. She probably took a train or something. But when they take her to New Jersey and she just stands there outside of his house, why is that necessary? How does that give us a better insight into this story? By the way, he's just like all the others. He's an establishment Republican. Or, sorry, Democrat. He's an establishment Democrat.
With more on these breaking details. Rebecca?
That's right. We're here in Newark, the city that launched Cory Booker's career as mayor some years ago. Today, as he takes that next...
I never verified how true this was, but I remember when he was mayor of this town.
Suck a duck.
Yeah, they can. You're right, Queen Tide Pod. And by the way, thanks for that. But yeah, when he was mayor of this town, there was a story that he ran into a burning building and saved some old lady. If anyone can verify that for me, let me know. But I remember that was a news story several years ago. And I was like, oh shit, this guy's gonna try to get up into the federal government game, and he did. Now he's a senator, so now he's running for president against Trump. I just don't see it happening. Not really a fan of Cory Booker. If you guys want to tell me what you think, either in the chat or if you want to jump on into the voice channel, the general voice channel over in the Drunken Peasants Discord, feel free to do that. We're going to be taking some opinion calls on what's going on with each story that we cover. And later on in the show, I'm going to be watching some vintage commercials from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, which should be pretty interesting. I don't know if you guys know this, but at one point, Wendy's had an all-you-can-eat super bar, which was like 3 bars. One was a pasta bar, one was Mexican, and one was salad. And you only paid $2.99 for it. So we're going to look at some of that shit. I just thought that would be interesting rather than the usual crazy shit, which I do have some of that also.
Big step to run for president. And he picked a symbolic day to do it. This is the first day of Black History Month. Booker.
Is it real? Well, okay, yeah, it's the first day of the month. I guess you're right. Okay.
Is the second.
Okay, Cory Booker is black, but he's kind of teetering the line. Let's be honest here. Doesn't he have like green eyes or something? Right? I mean, what percentage black is he? It's not that important, but now that they're bringing it up, I have to bring up that I notice he does look like a black guy, but he's got some white features going on too.
An African-American candidate to jump into this Democratic primary after Senator Kamala Harris, and he is putting that heritage front and center in this race, not only because he will be targeting African-American voters, but because it is a key part of his own personal story. In an announcement video today, Booker...
Yeah, black people can have green eyes, the ones that have European ancestry, right?
Nods to that history. His parents struggle to buy a home in a white, affluent neighborhood, and a white lawyer who helped them to do so because he was inspired by Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement. Booker says in his announcement video today that courage is contagious. As part of the optimistic message he is hoping to bring to this presidential primary, I want you to take a look at his announcement video.
All right, let's see this shit. I missed this.
We will channel our common pain back into our common purpose.
He even sounds like Obama a little bit.
Together, America, we will rise. I'm Cory Booker, and I'm running for President of the United States of America.
So what do you guys think about that? What do you think of Cory Booker? I was thinking he probably would win. He's another person I'm just not excited about at all. I don't know who I'm going to vote for. I have some time to figure it out. But none of the people who have officially announced anything is anyone I would personally want to vote for.
So today, Cory Booker answering one question, will he run for president? And the next question?
Cory Booker's been on the scene for a while. I don't know if you guys saying who or saying it as a joke or if you really don't know who he is. But he's been around a while. He's been poising for this attempt at the presidency for a while, slowly creeping his way up the ladder in the last 10 years.
How will he fare in this crowded Democratic primary, one of the most diverse in history, if not the most diverse in history? One advantage he could have is that he has raw political talent that Democrats point to. One of the challenges, this is a year of the women candidates running. He's going to go on The View today for his first interview.
Oh my God.
After he rolls out his campaign.
He's going on The View to pander to the female demographic. That's what he's doing. It's not even, I mean, it's like the females over 40 demographic, right? The View.
And then off to Iowa, South Carolina, and New Hampshire in the weeks to come.
Rebecca Buck for us in New Jersey. Cory Booker announces he's running for president. Certainly one of the more anticipated announcements in this 2020 race. Let's bring in CNN senior political reporter Nia Malika Henderson, Van Jones, host of the Van Jones Show, Jackie Kucinich, Washington bureau chief for the Daily Beast, and John Avlon here as well.
The View in triple brackets.
And I want to start with
oh my God.
Here. Where does
I mean, one of the hosts is Whoopi Goldberg. There you go.
Cory Booker fit in this new crowded field? And I don't think it's any coincidence at all that Senator Booker's announcing on February 1st, the beginning of Black History Month.
So who do we got here? Who do we got here? So Cory Booker, as I said, knew he was going to do this. I recognize him because I could see him already laying the groundwork years ago. Julian Castro, I don't know who that is. Not sure. John Delaney, heard the name. Don't know much about him at all. Tulsi Gabbard, don't know who the fuck that is. Kamala Harris, didn't know who she was until she announced she was running. Marianne Williamson, no idea. Andrew Yang, no idea. And then these exploratory committees. Mayor Pete, I don't even know how to say his last name. He's got butt in his last name, so that's just not good at all. Where's he mayor of? What city? Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. Yeah, I've heard of her, but don't know anything about her. Elizabeth Warren is the only big name out of all these people on here, and she hasn't even officially announced she's going to run, but she also sucks. I can't see one person on here. Some of them I don't know enough about to say I would never vote for them. But the people I do know about, I don't think I could vote for them. And then the other people, some of them are just newcomers. Look at this shit. Look at all these people running. What are these debates going to be like? Some of these people aren't even going to be allowed in the debates. It's going to be very strange. Like, there was some reports a week ago with absolute certainty that Bernie was running, so you put him in there too. Some of these people aren't even going to... They're only making the news now because bigger people haven't entered the race yet. Eventually, they'll be pushed to the side.
And some of his first radio interviews...
Which could be a bad thing. They need new people. Right? The Democrats need new people.
Will be with the likes of Tom Joyner, an extremely, maybe the most popular African-American radio host.
Well, Tom Joyner, certainly that. First of all, I have to say I've known Cory Booker for almost 25 years. I graduated from Yale Law School in spring of '93. He showed up in the fall of '93.
Yeah, see these people that went to Yale, it puts them on the political inside.
And took the entire law school over. I'm so glad I got out before the Cory Booker phenomenon took over Yale Law School. You have Bill Clinton and you have Cory Booker, the two people that had the biggest impact on that law school, just as raw political talents. He's a force to be reckoned with. Cory Booker is a force of nature. He is. Come on. No one's surprised that he's running because in some ways people have been telling him to run. So he's a very small guy.
Well, he couldn't run back then. Sorry. Remember when the Republican were the ones with too many people in the primaries? Well, yeah, that always happens when you have an incumbent president, right? Ooh, Ashley Pike, $10 via Patreon. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you. Yeah, guys, right now, the first of the month is always a stressful time for me because Patreon goes ape shit and the number drops way, way low every time. And we gain most of it back. But, you know, there's always foul play afoot going on. So if you guys want to support DP helping us get our Patreon or making the move to Subscribestar, either one would really help to continue the show's existence. So I just want to throw that out there since that popped up on the screen. Oh, you know what? You know what, Pez? You know what it probably was? It was probably your shit just got renewed. Is probably what happened. Shit is like, it's so wonky. Honestly. I felt like it was doing the audience a service to give them an option between PayPal and Subscribestar. You know, there was enough people that left because Patreon was the reason for me to be like, hey, it's worth it to give these people who took the time to tell me it was because of Patreon, you know, a new option. So you guys can get anything that was on Patreon over at Subscribestar. Let me know and keep in touch with me and let me know if any of you have issues with your Discord roles or anything like that, because if I can look and verify that you're on either Patreon or Subscribe Star, we'll get you hooked up with your roles and all that shit. Anyway, back to Van Jones talking about the skulls and bones at Yale. Not literally, but...
Don't forget, this guy left Yale Law School, could have gone anywhere in the world, went to Newark, New Jersey, moved basically into the poorest neighborhood, and began the most improbable climb from working with folks in housing projects, living in a housing project, to now running for president of the United States. He is not a normal person. He's not a normal candidate. He's somebody who brings an extra gear when it comes to energy and empathy, and you're going to see that through the rest of the campaign.
Yeah, I heard you in the background there. As we heard, he's not a normal candidate, being described as well by Van there as a force of nature. What's your take? Where does he fit in now in this increase?
By the way, did you see that WWE had to change their halftime Heat ad because of how much crap they talked about Maroon 5? No. I didn't know that. I didn't know they were talking about Maroon 5. I don't watch weekly WWE TV. And actually, for a while, I haven't watched it at all. I watched that last pay-per-view, and it got a good amount of viewers. It actually got us more subs over on my channel, which has been hard to get this, last year. So I'll probably watch that every month. I'll probably watch a WWE pay-per-view once a month over on my channel. But other than that, no, I don't see... I don't see a lot of the shit, but maybe we will watch the WWE halftime thing rather than the lame halftime thing. How did Maroon 5 come up? Well, Maroon 5 is playing at the Super Bowl halftime show, but WWE is doing its own show during Super Bowl halftime, hoping that people will go watch that instead.
Increasingly crowded field.
Yeah, I think Van hits on great points there. The energy, the enthusiasm, you can see it there in that introductory video. He's got the marching band there. It feels very young. It feels very now. It feels very fresh. Cory Booker is somebody who people have known about for years. If you go back to 2002, there was a New York Times magazine
this guy's been around for a while.
Said he would likely be the first black president. That was in 2002. He, of course, now is trying to be the second black president. And I think his path looks a lot like Obama's. And in many ways, Kamala Harris's does too. This idea.
Yeah, he's mini Obama. He's like Obama clone. That's what we should call him. Obama clone. Not because he looks exactly like him or anything, but because even like the way he speaks is reminiscent of Obama to me, and just everything I've seen him do, I'm like, oh, he's a lot like Obama. He's got a lot of, he puts out Obama vibes. And that's why I'm not excited. If I was excited about Cory Booker running for president, I would be all like, yeah, fuck it. I would say right now that I would vote for him. Unless he does something dramatic from now up until voting day or election day to earn my vote, I'm not excited about this at all.
That you can do well with not only African-American voters, but Latino voters as well, young voters, as well as women. I mean, these are people who are occupying the same lane in many ways, and it's not just because they're both African-American. It's because they're fresh faces. It's because they've already sort of zeroed in on key constituencies and already have some sway with those constituencies. The interesting thing about Booker is that he was doing a lot of the things that we see Beto O'Rourke doing now, the things that we see AOC doing now as well. Heavy on Twitter, heavy on Instagram, heavy on that social media, and really energizing young folks. And we'll see if he can keep
young folks. Kind of you think young folks are? You think young folks are excited about Cory Booker? I really don't see it. Obama did really well at energizing young people to go vote for him and energizing minorities to go vote for him. But I think he's kind of ruined that, at least for a little while, and I don't see anyone else, even if they're as charismatic as Obama was when he was first running. I don't see him I don't see anyone else being able to regain that kind of magic. I think Obama ruined that for a while. maybe in another 20, 30 years, someone can come back and preach the hope and change message and win the presidency again. But as when someone promises hope and change and all these people go fucking gaga for it, and then no change happens, it kind of it disenfranchises a lot of people. So, see, Obama lost his Obama charisma too, though. Obama lost his Obama charisma, if you notice. Not all of it, but he wasn't the same Obama when he ran for re-election. And part of that's because he couldn't say a lot of the things that he said the first time, because it had already been confirmed that he wasn't going to do it. I mean, even people who didn't like Obama when Obama was a senator running for president, a lot of people they're like, we got to hand it to him. He knows how to work a crowd. And he did. He knew how to work a crowd really well. And it was a time where people, we were involved in 2 wars at the time, and people were just really tired of George Bush. I mean, if you would have asked me, 17, 18 years ago, well, more like 19 years ago now, right? Like, who's the worst president ever? I would have said George Bush, hands down. But then Obama didn't really deviate from Bush that much, hardly at all. And I still don't see it changing with any of these people that they're announcing now.
Because he has been around so long, if he can keep that freshness going forward in this race.
Someone in the chat just said, yeah, we have tons of wars. That's true, but these wars were bringing about casualties that we have these drug wars and other things like that. But in Afghanistan and in Iraq, around that time, we were having, ground war and people dying constantly, soldiers dying constantly, just a lot of crazy shit going on. And people were tired of that. I remember Phil Donahue, who got fired from MSNBC for being against the Iraq War, was on Bill O'Reilly around the time that the Iraq War was hit its apex. And they were arguing, and Phil Donahue said, only 2 things have doubled since this war started. The amount of, he said only 2 things doubled in the last year. The amount of troops that have died in this war and the price of Halliburton's stock. And that was one of the best points I had heard about the whole thing. The amount of sacrifice that normal people were making to make war profiteers richer and richer. And that's part of the reason why they got Phil Donahue the fuck off TV when they could. He's still around too. Don't see him on TV. He's pretty old now, but man, that guy could debate very well. I mean, his show and Oprah used to run neck and neck. He was kind of a precursor to Oprah. Drone strikes are on the rise. Ground wars are dumb. Yeah, I agree. Billy seems a little bit defensive of any criticism of Obama. I mean, interpret that the way you want to. I haven't noticed that, but maybe I'm just not paying attention enough to that. I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of like cringe raps. If you notice, there are certain types of rappers Billy doesn't ever say are cringy. So, take that for what it's worth, right? I actually have someone, let's let's see who this person is. Hey, person in my general room.
Hello.
I can. Hi, what's up?
Not much. What's up with you?
Not too much. Doing a stream here. So were you in here because you wanted to say anything about anything I've talked about so far, or?
Kind of, and also just because of the fact that I'm bored and I wanted somebody to talk to, and I was hoping maybe somebody joining here just be like, "Oh, I'm bored. Hey."
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. As far as for the Democrat thing, the only thing I know anything about for Andrew Yang is there were like two things that I can remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
One of them was that he wanted a like universal income for people. It was like $1,000 a month for like people who are in America that are U.S. citizens. You would get like $1,000 universal healthcare. Well, not healthcare. Universal income a month. And the other thing was that he wanted to do away with like revolving door politics, which would be like, oh, I go in, I do some corrupt shit and fucked up shit so that way I can, get a nice comfy job at some big company that would provide me a upper management position or higher up position. He would do away with that kind of politics, but at the cost of like giving congressmen more money. And that's about as far as I know for Andrew Yang.
Interesting. Yeah, this is my first time ever actually hearing his name, honestly. I mean, it sounds like he wants to enact a lot of social programs. I don't know, like if...
Yeah.
I mean, anyone can throw that out there, but I'd like to hear how they can do it. Some real planning instead of just,
Yeah.
these pie-in-the-sky kind
I
of...
haven't heard of that.
Yeah. So... I don't know.
And I also can imagine the Republicans' response to if Andrew Yang actually became the candidate. Just the fact that his name is Andrew Yang, they're going to be like, oh, what's this? We got some Asian person trying to tell us what to do. We don't need some ching chong motherfucker telling me what the fuck to do. I want a white-blooded American.
I don't know. You know what? Even like white nationalists seem to like Asians better than any other race. Besides white people.
They probably like him just because the fact that they're like, oh yeah, they're smart. We should be that kind of smart. Or they're just like, man, that's a nice piece of ass.
I think it's a little both. And by the way, if you could turn the stream down a little bit, that'd be good because I think it's like echoing back at me. It's all right.
Yeah, I struggle with that a little bit. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah. But seriously though, they do seem okay with Asians normally.
It also wouldn't help the fact that a lot of people who are like social justice, who are like, oh man, fuck white people, also tend to lump Asians in with white people, so that probably doesn't
Asians,
help.
what? They're not white at all.
Yeah, they have, because they're just like, oh, what's the difference between a white person and an Asian person? They would hold them up and be like, oh, there's no difference, or they're like confuse an Asian person for a white guy.
It is interesting that the Nazis did ally themselves with the Japanese, who were clearly not part of the master race they believe should take over the entire world, right?
Oh yeah, and I think that's mostly just because the fact that it was convenient, because like Japan was like, oh fuck you Russia and fuck you America, and it just so happens that Germany was like, oh yeah, fuck Russia, let's work together. Yeah,
because they were on either side of Russia, so it kind of gave them a tactical advantage in that way. To have a stronghold, that far east in Japan.
And honestly, if Germany hadn't told Japan, hey, you see America, see all that manufacturing? Yeah, they're coming for you. Odds are the USSR probably would have struggled even more, just simply because of the fact that they would have two fronts to worry about. But when Japan heard America's coming for us, they're like, oh shit, we gotta do something about that America problem. And then Pearl Harbor happened.
Right. Yeah, and then they created a much larger America problem called nuclear weapons. Yeah. So.
Yep. Which, if I remember correctly, there was also another reason why America did that, and that was mostly just to scare the shit out of Russia.
Yeah, I'm sure that had something to do with it.
Yeah, because the idea was like Russia was starting to make moves and was starting to like take over places that they were conquering, and they were getting more and more into Asia. And America was like, yeah, we're not too comfortable with that, but they're also our allies, so we're not just going to like we're not just going to walk up and punch our allies in the face and tell them no.
Well,
but we're just going to scare the shit out of them, be like, hey, this is what we can do. But at the same time, we're like, oh shit, what the fuck did we
I'll tell you what, it probably had the desired effect back then when it happened, but history, like, it didn't age well. Now when we look at it, it's fucking horrendous. And it's funny that we, you know, in many ways, we try to control which nations can and cannot have nuclear weapons when we're the only ones to have actually ever used them.
Yep. I think it also wouldn't help the fact that we just kind of were like, we were the reason why we shouldn't have like as much nuclear weapons, because we're the kind of people that showed off like, yeah, this is what we can fucking do if we fuck up. You know, if we get this kind of stupid. And everybody's like, yeah, let's not do that. You know.
And I believe that
explosions are fun, but not that fun.
I think that fell under Harry Truman too. I think that was
that was Harry Truman.
Yeah, post FDR type decisions. Yep. It's really interesting. I know we have we have some other people here in the room, but they're muted. I don't know if they want to say anything. You know what? If anyone ever gives any feedback to Discord, let them know that we need screen sharing enabled in voice, like general voice rooms. That's what we need.
Yeah, because because that would honestly, like, for anybody who either doesn't have Skype or just doesn't want to be like, hey, Ben, here's my Skype so you can add me and that sort of shit. They don't have to do that. It's just, boop, there you go.
Right.
But, yeah.
I mean, there are Discord video rooms, but everyone has to be on each other's friends list. It's really weird.
Yeah.
How they have it set up.
I think they probably thought the same idea for, like, Skype, where it's just, like, maybe you have to be like, oh, if you're a friend, and then it makes sense for you to want to share videos, but if you're just a stranger, you don't want to be like, oh, hey, want to get into a video call with a random stranger, and then suddenly somebody's like got their dick hanging out, and you're like, oh, that's great, I didn't want to see that.
So what I think I'm going to do is, if you guys want to stick around, I'll pull you guys in again. I'm going to leave this room and play the next video, and then if you guys want to talk about that, we can talk about that.
Can I say something? I just joined.
Yeah, sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, can I talk about the Democrats for just a second?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so, like, I keep seeing, like, you show the poll that says, like, the #1 choice is someone else.
Someone new. Someone new is what what it says.
Yeah, and, like, you were supportive of Bernie last time, but, like, this time I've been seeing you say, like, well, he's old, so, like, you don't like it. Like, I don't know, what's up with it? Like, do you not really support Bernie anymore, or what?
I support Bernie, but I think his ability to win the election is tainted by a number of things, and part of it is his age.
Old as fuck.
Also, like, I mean, he's already reaching the, you know, the average age of an American white male. So, I mean, it is a possibility that he wouldn't even live long enough to get 2 terms if he was elected in this next election. And that doesn't take away from me agreeing with the things that he stands for, but it takes away from the public's perception. I mean, there's a whole slew of new people that are going to be able to vote in this next election that weren't able to vote in the last one. And they didn't feel the burn back then necessly.
I think a lot of that's just because people didn't know who he was. Like, when he announced, the other two big people were like Donald Trump and Hillary, who people have known for decades. Like, people knew Trump actually for like decades longer than Hillary. Like, he was a big thing back in, like, I guess as early as like the 70s.
Well, first of all, Bernie Sanders has been, I mean, you can search Bernie Sanders and find decades worth of
definitely
video
like,
footage. And then also, like,
in like the public spectrum.
I knew about Bernie because I used to listen to the Tom Hartman radio show, and for years he used to go on there. I mean, you know, over 10 years ago, 12, 13 years ago, he used to be on there, I think, like once a week or something.
He wasn't really like a national figure like Hillary. And I mean, like, by the time the primary was over, and once Bernie was really known by the whole country, like, you could look at all the opinion polls, and he was like way at the top. It's just like, you know, people didn't know who he was when it was time to vote, so it kind of fucked things up. But I mean, the thing about his age, like going against Trump in the general election, is like he's what, like 3 years older than Trump? It's not really a big age difference. I feel like the age thing is just like, honestly, like a little bit like identity politics.
I mean, age is a factor when it comes to electing people.
I mean, the only thing I would say about the age thing is it would make it a moot point for, like, if then at that point, if, oh, you're too old to run, anybody who would vote Trump back in would be like, yeah.
My other point is, why the fuck would he want to run as a Democrat again?
I mean,
because like people are just afraid to vote third party. Honestly, that's. I mean,
Well,
I voted
okay.
Joe Biden, but
So let's keep it that way, right? Because that's a better idea.
well, it's more of a matter of, like, even if he ran third party, there's like very slim chance that he'll actually get anywhere close to, like, oh, I'm going to usurp one of the two.
Well,
on the
he
ballot
ran
and
for a
actually
major
end up
party.
being there.
Well, he ran for a major party, and they fucking threw monkey wrenches in his gears purposefully to keep him out. So he actually had the party that he thought he needed to win the election fuck with him behind the scenes to prevent him from even making it to the general election. Whereas if he would have ran with the third party, he would have at least been on the real ballot for the actual election.
Yeah, but then what makes you think that either of those parties wouldn't do the same thing of throwing a monkey wrench just so that way Bernie wouldn't actually?
You don't think a third party would be like totally welcoming?
I just think, no, I'm not saying that a third party wouldn't be totally welcoming. I'm saying, like, these two parties are so ingrained in our society that, like, they'll do anything just to make sure that there isn't any opposition to them just being the two.
Okay, here's the thing, though. He had no chance of being on the general election ballot as a Democrat. He had a very, very, very... I can't speak with absolute certainty because I can't do that about something that didn't actually happen. But I would say the odds are way, way, way better that he would have been on the general ballot if he would have ran for a third party. So it's him not getting to run at all versus him actually getting to run, and we can see how many people are willing to vote for him, you know, as a side candidate.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
First of all, sorry I've been gone so long.
Okay.
The thing I want to ask is, when was the last time a third party or an independent actually was a real contender for the presidency?
That was Ross Perot
in 1992.
Yeah, you know what? And they actually let him in the debates, which is something like they wouldn't even consider to do now, because Ross Perot, he didn't really stand that good of a chance of winning. He didn't even get any electoral votes when he ran, but he had a big enough supporter base, and at the time, the people that put the debates together were way less biased towards the dual party system and actually let someone who was that popular as an independent be in the debates. So Ross Perot was in all of those debates.
So you don't really think that could happen again unless there's a major shakeup of the political system?
I think it's something that's going to take time, but if we continue this mindset that a third party could never possibly win, it won't ever happen. It would be a self-fulfilling prophecy because people in that mindset are just going to keep voting for one of the two major parties because they want to pick the winning side. They don't want to stand up for who they want to win the most. And hope that over time people kind of get rid of this fear of voting for a third party and then actually try. They want to pick one of the winners so they can be like, yeah, I voted for them and they won. That's what's important to the people.
It's sort of like brand recognition, you know. It's like a lot of people can go down to your local, small restaurant and be like, oh, this is some good stuff, but normally it's, McDonald's on every single corner and run them out of business.
So part of the Justice Democrats platform is ranked choice voting. So if they could take over the Democratic Party, then we could maybe move to a multiple party system.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
anything's possible, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want the opposite to happen, where there's just so many parties that everything gets diluted, because a lot of the places in Europe has like 30, 40 parties, and they're all struggling to get any sort of...
I don't think we're getting there anytime soon.
No, I doubt in our lifetimes.
And by the way, Bernie Sanders is not just 2 years older than Donald Trump. I just looked it up.
What is it?
He's like what, 5 years.
4?
He's 5 years older. And when you're in your 70s, 5 years is a lot.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, seriously, 5 years is like a big, like, that's more important than like massive substantive issues like climate change and wars and all that. Like,
but he might not live long enough to implement it. That's what I think Ben's trying to say. He's just so old at this point.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just speculation. Like, well, he might, like, okay, he's got a vice president, right?
And not only that, you know, being a president, that takes a huge toll on somebody's mental
So what
health.
you just admitted,
And
so what you
physical.
just did, hold on. So what you just admitted is that, you know, yeah, he'll have a vice president. So his electability to some degree with certain people will be contingent upon who he chooses as a running mate. So it wouldn't just be him alone. That's why I'm saying just get someone like him that's younger to run. I mean, if he's not...
who's that?
The only person who I can think of that would be close to Bernie is Anastasia Ocasio-Cortez, and she's too young.
Too young?
Well,
yeah.
So Ro Khanna
yeah, she's the only person I can think that would be.
Ro Khanna, I think, would be a better president than Bernie, and he's like in his 40s, but he's not going to run. He wants Bernie to run. So, I mean...
what's up, Oprah?
What the fuck is that noise?
Sorry, that's stupid USB of my headphones. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's
Your
okay.
USB makes a squeaking
It's
noise?
It sounds like a bed, like squeaky
or a
on my
chair or
mattress.
something.
Did it go again?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I know what it is. I'm plugged my vape into my fucking computer. Okay, there we go. I took it out.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. Someone said Jesse Ventura might run. I have not seen anything to indicate that.
Yeah, I've never heard of Jesse Ventura being like, yeah, I'm gonna run.
Jesse Ventura, he was on Jimmy Dore's show. He said he might run Green Party.
Oh, well, he's said this a lot. He's never actually tried.
Yeah, just because he says he might doesn't mean he is.
I can't wait for Jesse Ventura, Pet Detective, to run for president.
Does he have a book coming out or something? Because a lot of times I'll see him do that, like talk about running for president, but he's really just trying to get around so he can talk about his book. I like him.
Marketing.
So I'm going to play the next video. I'll be back, guys. All right. So here's the Polar Vortex 2.0 continues. 5 years ago, there was the first time I had ever heard Polar Vortex. I'm sure it's been used before, but that was my first time. Now, 5 years later, Polar Vortex once again in the same area. Check this shit out.
For the first time since Monday, I am not standing outside in wind chills below zero. It feels like 2 right now here in New York City, but millions of people from the Midwest to the Northeast have been stuck in the grips of this icy polar vortex. It's the reason behind the bone-chilling, dangerous cold, flight disruptions, and at least 12 deaths.
12 deaths! Like I said, people always die when there's a weather extreme, whether that be too hot or too cold. People fucking die.
This morning, frozen solid, some 120 million Americans emerging from another day of icy misery.
Oh my God, I'm so glad I don't live out there. Fuck.
Right now, I was just finding where any place to hide because it's too cold.
It's so cold. I've been here for all my life, nothing as cold as this.
In Iowa, firefighters battling ice as much as fire. In Illinois, a new state record, the city of Mount Carroll plunging to 38 below. And in Ohio, a terrifying whiteout. And
oh my God, man. That truck almost went over the fucking... Wow, I didn't know those barriers were so strong. Man, that truck would have went over that hill.
Near miss on a frozen bridge. The harsh chill now blamed for as many as 12 fatalities. Meanwhile, at Chicago's already crippled airport, bursting pipes now wreaking havoc. Airlines reporting more than 6,000 airport delays and cancellations across the country Thursday as the cold moved east. In New York, heavy lake effect snow near Buffalo sending tractor trailers off the road. While at New Jersey's Patterson Park, waterfalls more frozen than falling. But the polar vortex not freezing out some fun, from souped up hair to something really super, this frozen Tom Brady jersey.
It's weird. That's weird that people do that, and I saw the pants. That shit's really weird.
Appearing to shiver. The Arctic plunge melting into hope for the weekend, a surge of warmer air set to bring relief. Chicago will see nearly a 100-degree jump from a real feel of negative 52 earlier in the week to an actual balmy 46 on Saturday.
That's crazy. What a huge difference. Look at that differential.
Winter whiplash and a potentially record-setting rebound across the Midwest and Northeast. And it's not just Chicago who will see that.
We're about to get a little bit of snow here on Monday, and people are freaking out already.
Wild temperature swing. In fact, 90% of the country will have temperatures above average starting tomorrow. And guys, I don't want to get your hopes up, but there's the chance it might hit 60 here in New York on Tuesday.
Are you kidding me? Wow, this is that.
I drove to Oregon a few years back to see some family. There was a huge blizzard on the way up. We couldn't see more than like 5 feet ahead of us, but we made it. Something like 6 people died. Wow, that's crazy. That is really crazy. Yeah, I've driven in a total whiteout before. I drove from Columbus to Cincinnati one time, and it was a complete whiteout all the way there. Pretty scary.
Remember the old saying, if you don't like the weather, wait a minute? Yeah.
You got it.
It's happening.
All right, Dylan, thank you.
You know, the cold, I mean, there is a point of cold where it's not safe to go outside for longer than a few minutes at a time. That is absolutely true. Negative 50-something degrees Fahrenheit is way too cold to safely be outside for longer than a few minutes. We'll get the people in the general chat back on eventually here. I do want to play Russia reacting to the U.S. withdrawing from a nuclear arms treaty.
The U.S. has announced its intention to pull out of a key nuclear weapons treaty, and it is blaming Russia. The pact is called the Intermediate Range Nuclear Force, or INF Treaty. Washington has been a signatory since 1987, and now there's concern a pullout could lead to a new arms race. CBC's Lindsay Duncombe is on the story in Washington.
Well, because the U.S. has long said that Russia is in violation of this treaty with the development of specific weapons systems. Here's what Mike Pompeo had to say at the State Department.
So I do remember covering a story recently about a missile that Putin was talking about. And I think they did a test of it. And he said it was like some kind of unstoppable force. So, I mean, if they're violating the treaty, why would we stay in it? But then a nuclear arms race, that shit is scary.
Today.
Russia's violation puts millions of Europeans and Americans at greater risk. It aims to put the United States at a military disadvantage. And it undercuts the chances of moving our bilateral relationship in a better direction. It's our duty to respond appropriately.
The president followed up that announcement shortly with a statement. Here's what he said. We cannot be the only country in the world unilaterally bound by this treaty or any other. We will move forward with developing our own military response options and will work with NATO and other allies and partners to deny Russia any military advantage from its unlawful conduct.
Yeah, I mean, if Russia's violating the treaty by making weapons that are not allowed to be made in the treaty, then I don't see why the U.S. should have to stay in it. But that is a scary idea to think that we might be going back to a Cold War style nuclear arms race between the United States and Russia again.
And shortly after the announcement was made in the United States, NATO also said that it believes that the U.S. is right, that Russia is violating the treaty, and it supports the American action. What the announcement today does is really start a 6-month clock. And if 6 months goes by and there are no new talks or no new compliance, then what that means is that the treaty is essentially done. And the idea that that would happen seems very unlikely to many people because of how dug in both Washington and Moscow are.
That's CBC's Lindsay Duncombe in Washington.
Oh, the Cold War. Oh, you don't say. The Cold War inspired a bunch of cool books and movies. Well, I mean, if they make a whole bunch of new stuff, then you'll have all the cool books and movies to watch in your fallout shelter while you're hiding from the nuclear winter that transpired.
With more on what all of this means and whether we are headed to Cold War Part 2, I'm joined by nuclear weapons policy expert Joe Cirincione. Joe is the president of Plowshares Fund. That is a global security foundation, and we reached him in Washington. Joe, great to have you on the program. Want to get right into it. How important is this treaty, not just for the U.S., not just for Russia, but for the rest of the world?
This treaty is historically important. When Ronald Reagan negotiated it with Mikhail Gorbachev,
I remember this shit. I remember when this happened.
It broke the back of the nuclear arms race. This was the first reduction treaty. The Soviet Union and the United States destroyed over 3,000 perfectly good nuclear weapons that they had spent billions of dollars building. They destroyed them and banned them globally. It really started the process of nuclear reductions that has gone on for over 30 years to this day. It's important now because it continues that ban on these weapons. And the hope has always been that you could get other countries like China, like India to eventually join.
By the way, guys, if you're watching right now and you haven't already, please like the stream. Let's try to get it to like 100 likes. There's almost 200 people watching. Can 50% of you do me a solid and like the video? And if you're not subscribed to this channel, subscribe to it and share the stream. That would be great. Thank you. And I'm going to bring people in. If you're a member of the Discord, jump into the general room.
In this band. The U.S. killing this treaty now is a major blow to the nuclear security safety net that we've constructed over the decades. And the fear is that it will lead to even more unraveling, particularly with the new START treaty that has constrained Russia.
See Ronald Reagan's hearing aid? It's kind of easy to notice. Oh, yeah, and then Gorbachev with his fucking spot on his head. Like, what? Hey, we almost made it to 100. We're like 3/4 of the way to 100. Thanks, guys. That jumped up really fast. Hopefully we can get to 200 live viewers.
And the United States strategic long-range forces.
You brought up a good point. China, India, nuclear-armed countries. What message does it send to those two?
That's the gentlemen, start your engines. You know, both of those.
All right, enough of this guy. Okay, I'm back.
Hey, Ben's back.
Hey, what's up, Ben?
Are any of you guys in the polar vortex?
I'm like pretty much like on the outside where I'd still get affected by it, but not enough. And plus with the winds that are coming up from the south, that's heating things up. My place is starting to heat up.
I'm kind of glad I didn't move back up to Maine because I probably would have been caught up in it.
Oh, yeah. Maine. I'm sure they're getting it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, though. Yeah, sometimes if you're coastal, it keeps it a little warmer.
Yeah, because like for the past few days, almost this entire week, like my area's been in the teens, but now it's jumped up all the way into like the 40s.
Yeah, almost every day here we're in the mid 40s or mid 50s Fahrenheit. And then, but I guess on Monday we're supposed to get probably the first and only snow this year.
I could imagine that's probably not going to end well, but, you know.
Yeah, I'm hiding inside because people don't know how to drive. Like, people who aren't used to driving in snow can't. And it's the same with the rain. well, when I used to live in the desert, when it would rain, people could not drive in the rain. It blew my mind.
Oh yeah, back when I lived in California, my dad and I used to joke about how in California there'd be a huge amount of drowning deaths because Californians would be so stupid to look up with their mouth open thinking, what the fuck is that? And then suddenly just rain down their throat.
There's
good one.
There's a video on Twitter of this guy who's like, what's that sound? What's that sound outside? Is it raining LaCroix? What's going on?
LaCroix.
I gotta get on Twitter about this.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Those
I was in
countries
Sacramento a while back before it started going absolutely nuts with the wildfires.
No, I've been living in the polar vortex this whole time. I'm from Detroit, and fucking, we had our gas, like a gas hub here, catch on fire. So everybody's like temperatures have to be turned down to 65 or lower. So you know it's negative 40 outside.
You don't have to admit that you're from Detroit. You could lie.
I'm not ashamed of it.
Well, there you go.
We're lucky here in Ireland. We're not
weed here now, so
I don't care. I mean,
everybody driving BMWs now.
No way.
Oh yeah, all that money coming in from all the legal weed, man.
They had to go to Ohio to steal them to bring them back to Detroit.
When I lived up in Maine, it was a small town in Maine. And it was really, really nice because the police officers in the town I were in, they didn't really care much. Not much stuff went on. And also, when I was up there, I was with my grandfather, and he had a friend who would grow weed in his backyard, and nobody would give a shit. And he had like 4 or 5 plants that were fully grown, and it was pretty cool.
Britannia.
What the fuck was that? Oh my god. Hold on, someone. That was a crazy Tom Roberts. For whatever reason, the super chat is covering up Tom Roberts, so I'll read that one too. But yeah, we first I'll answer Rose Black's question. Right now, if you use it to watch our show and download it using our link, we get kickbacks for that, and then pretty soon you'll be able to watch ads to give us kickbacks whenever they roll out that ad program. But yeah, right now, downloading the Brave browser and using it to watch our streams helps out the show tremendously. So I'm not trying to tell you what browser to use. You can use whatever one you want, but if it doesn't matter to you, like if you want to try out a new browser, like you're not married to the browser that you're using now, then yeah, try it out.
Well, I switch back and forth because Chrome is the one that supports like the Honey add-on where you can get like discounts and stuff.
Yeah, Chrome is great.
So I go back and forth with like if I'm buying shopping or whatever, I go on Chrome. But
I think you skipped the most important part about that Streamlabs, which was that they said hi to me. So hi, Rose.
Tom Roberts said, "I may not have freedom of speech, but at least I don't have a frozen scrotum." Rule Britannia. Okay.
I take offense to that.
But yeah, it's supposed to warm up here. It's supposed to go from like negative 15 Celsius to 1 degree, but I don't know how to change that to Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna go up all the way.
There's
to 1
an
degree.
equation. There's an equation for it. I'm not sure what it is. Like, does anyone know the equation?
God, it was like, hang on, I can pull it up real quick.
You're supposed to like add something and then divide. And
I think it was somewhere in.
You like add 32 and then divide something.
And then it's like 5.
It was like 0 Celsius. Like this is just based off of if it was 0 Celsius, it's like 0 Celsius times 9/5 plus 32 equals 32 Fahrenheit. So
right, because it's 0.
Okay. So it's basically
let's go with 1. Yeah, you'd be up to like
33.8 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what it's going to go up to. From like -15, which is just freezing. It's just been freezing all week.
It's actually just a little bit warmer than how cold it was at one point from where I live, because at one point it was like 2 degrees.
Oh yeah, it's not it's not even that bad here compared to some of the places that it was freezing.
Yep.
Where was it? Minnesota. That's like in the winds. It's -70, right?
Yeah, it's not even that bad here.
Or am I smoking crack?
I think it got down to -50 there with the wind chill.
It's 9 degrees Celsius here, so 48 Fahrenheit.
Yep.
And it's raining.
A little bit warmer than here in Ireland.
Yeah. 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 Where's Teddy? Where's Teddy Rubskin?
Dude, I watched his I watched his Pac-Man Adventure 2 playthrough, and I mean his critique. It was pretty funny, dude. Because I used to play Pac-Man 2. It was like an old point-and-click Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like Pac-Man would make all these like hilarious faces and do all this super funny stuff and entertain the little boy in me.
Yeah, fucking Teddy Rubskin is a big Sega shill.
Sega was a good console. It's just Super Nintendo was actually better. I mean,
I like Dreamcast.
Most of the departments.
I think it's said that Dreamcast was their final console because it was so great. It was way beyond
to make another one too. They planned to make what was it called? I think it was called the Neptune, but it was scrapped because they couldn't afford it because the Dreamcast didn't sell as much as they wanted it to.
Well, the Neptune was a 32-bit console they had it planned for the Genesis and the Saturn.
Right.
They just decided to skip it.
Yeah, it was a
made
huge...
the 32X add-on for the
Oh, the 32X was garbage, dude. That thing was just awful.
32X. Yeah, that's such
Sounds
a crazy
like a bra
looking
size.
When you look at the Genesis, when they add the Sega CD and the 32X all onto it, it's just so crazy looking. I wonder how much that weighs.
It wasn't the AVGN. He said it looked like some giant, like it was getting gang raped.
Yeah, it was crazy.
He also said they invented the 32X to increase the lifespan of the Genesis, and that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, but like 6 months later, they released the Sega Saturn, and the Genesis died. Like, it was just a giant waste of technology.
Dude, I was looking for crazy videos earlier, and I found this video where this guy...
Have you ever heard the Marijuana Man thing?
Hold on, wait. Listen to this. I have this video where this guy he's just making these... He's in like a lobby somewhere. I don't know where exactly he is, but he's like in a lobby somewhere. And he's making these crazy sounds like, ooh, 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 like that, like crazy, almost like Tourette's-like sounds. And then he starts asking them if they have a bathroom, and they tell him they don't. And he goes outside, and he's filming his feet, and all of a sudden you could see all this piss just like start like running like out of his pants onto the ground.
Oh god,
dude! I actually have. I used to work at.
Oh my god!
We should show that to a certain former peasant.
Oh my god! Oh my god! When I saw it, it made me laugh and it made me cringe so bad at the same time. You can use Chrome add-ons. Oh, you can use Chrome add-ons on Brave. Just yeah.
I think it's just.
Oh really?
I think it might be down.
Work for Honey though, because like I tried it.
Oh okay,
And
yeah. I don't know.
It might be like only certain add-ons have actually made the traverse to Brave, while others still are on Chrome. Whether or not that's just like, oh, we're too lazy to make the traversal, or if it's just like
I still use it. I just
And not only that, Chrome is Google and brand recognition.
It also wouldn't help the fact that honestly, a lot of people have probably gotten so set up on Chrome that it's like, I would, but I got all this shit set up on Chrome
and all the passwords and stuff. Yeah.
You can import all of that.
On a lot of computers. So.
You can import all of your like autofill data and all because it uses Chromium, so it's the same. You know, it's very similar.
I don't trust Chromium. That's the thing, because Chromium is what a lot of hackers use. Yeah, it's open source, and a lot of hackers use that to get into your stuff. So I'm kind of iffy on it.
Yeah.
Are you guys saying
I'm stuck with Firefox. For some reason, Chrome just doesn't work with me. I install it on my computer, and 5 seconds later, the screen freezes. I have no idea what's going on.
Chrome uses a huge amount of processing power, and it overheated my computer when I tried to use it, so I just use Firefox, except to watch DP now. I Brave.
I definitely know whenever I'm like playing anything and my computer's like, oh Jesus Christ, there's too much. I'm just like, all right, I know what the issue is, and I just close Chrome, and then like immediately, like it almost resolved every issue.
I didn't know that you couldn't use Google Hangouts on Firefox, and I had an interview a few days ago, and we were all set up, ready to go. She was on Google Hangouts, and then boom, I don't have the right browser for it. That was fun. Like 5 minutes before the show.
Damn, that sucks ass.
Can't you just use like a default browser to use Hangouts? Or?
Oh, like Edge? Yeah, I tried to do it, and it just keeps saying this browser is not.
Holy fuck! We're six likes away from 100. That's all I wanted. We're 6 away.
Come on, people. There's still a few holdouts left.
You guys have. If you have more than one channel, you can just. Oh, is it? Okay.
Why wouldn't you just like it?
I went ahead.
I just liked it. It's all Ben's ever wanted, guys.
Oh, there we go.
102. There you go.
Lives for this.
I've seen a woman in her 60s trying to clean her own shit off the blacktop of a Walmart parking lot in the middle of summer when I used to push carts. That piss reminded me. Oh shit! It went away.
Oh, dude, I know the feeling, man. I know that feeling, Ben. I used to work at Walmart. I went into the back when, you know where all the cameras are? And a woman was like changing a diaper in the fucking toy aisle.
Says that piss video reminded me.
I'm not joking.
Also, Ben, can I come over, please? What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? They're called Ben's best friend.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Invite over your friends, Ben. It's not
stranger danger.
Hey Ben, this piss thing reminded me of shit. By the way, can I come to your house? I'm definitely not suggesting anything here.
What are you, Donald Trump, talking about piss all of a sudden?
It's so crazy. This guy, I don't know if people want to see that or not. I mean, there's no nudity or anything. It's just all of a sudden you notice all this liquids running out of the guy's pant leg onto his shoes.
Well,
and
Ben,
all over the ground.
Remember, some of us were there on Twitch when you needed to go to the toilet real bad. We didn't get to see it, but we got to see your face. That was a magical moment.
Yeah.
Show me the pee-pee.
Well, I guess you could say them not letting him use the bathroom pissed him off, huh?
It sucks when you. It sucks so bad when you have to piss really bad. It's terrible, and there's nowhere. Like you'll get arrested if you piss in public, but no place will let you piss.
Yeah.
Yeah. At that point, it's just like try to find an alley where you can just be like.
I was about to suggest that, especially if it's at night or something.
The last time I was in Vancouver, I went down an alley to piss, and there was heroin syringes all over the ground.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
well, that's comforting.
Yeah, they were everywhere.
They found that in like a park near here. There was like syringes all over the park.
There were dozens of syringes in this alleyway.
That's just Dublin.
That's Dublin.
But we swear, guys, opioids are not that bad. It's definitely not going to cause heroin, addictions. Totally.
not at all. They're totally different.
But weed, you know, that's a gateway drug.
This was in this was in
Yeah.
like Gastown in Vancouver, like down there in like it's kind of a fucked up area. But I mean, it's fun. There's like fun things to do there, but it is kind of sketchy too.
There's just a diabetic living there, Ben. Don't be so fucking judgmental.
There's like a giant. You know what? If that's true, I think there's an outbreak. It looks like fucking. There's parts of that town that look like Resident Evil. Seriously.
That's pretty cool.
Like
Have you played the new
zombie,
one?
like Walking Dead zombie. In all seriousness, the shit was probably the worst thing I've ever seen and smelled. The lady was living in her truck in our parking lot, and I legit couldn't even tell my coworker or manager for 10 minutes. Damn, that it goes by so fast.
Have you played the new Resident Evil, Ben?
No. You know,
It's
I never really
good.
played it because I never had a PlayStation. So my first PlayStation was PS4. It's the first PlayStation I've ever had.
The only real issue I have with the newer with like those Resident Evils is just the fact that like they're remastering and constantly remastering. But
I don't have a
could
problem
probably-
with it personally.
The only reason why I take issue with that is because the fact that we're probably going to have to wait till like years upon years before we'll actually ever see a Resident Evil 8 because they're going to be too busy trying to like port over and remaster like RE5 or some shit like
They
that.
couldn't stop-
I don't think they're going to do that for RE5. RE5 wasn't very critically
They'll probably do it with 4 because 4
By the
is
way-
beloved.
They already did that with 4. They already
Oh, did they?
remastered it. Yeah.
By the way, their story about why they couldn't tell their coworker or manager for like 10 minutes is because they gagged every time they thought about it, about the piss.
God.
Okay. Billy told me a story about how he shit himself in his friend's car.
Oh, I think I heard that story.
He ate a bunch of hot wings and drank a bunch of free beer, which was probably like nasty
and he
cheap
was
beer.
driving and they couldn't pull over. They were like on a highway. Or
There was no
something?
warning. There was like a minute worth of warning, and then he was already shitting himself.
Yeah,
He's
he
gonna
was saying that,
blow.
he was like, "I'm shitting myself. I'm shitting myself."
I'm shitting myself.
Like, that was in like the live stream when he was like driving home from the stream.
That is so great.
Those are always the worst feelings whenever it's just like, oh, I'm minding my own business, and then suddenly, oh shit, I gotta go to the bathroom. Because it's just like out of the blue, and it's like, oh fuck. And sometimes when it's out of the blue, it's like, oh, I'm fine until eventually it hits, and it's like, I really need to go now.
They should
Happens to
send
me
that
in
guy.
Scotland. Jesus.
They should send that guy who
by
pissed
the
down
way-
his leg to wherever those that town where the pants are attacking. You know, the standing up pants because it's so cold. You should send him there.
Listen
Did
to
a lot
this.
of good work.
This is the funny thing about the guy that pissed on himself is it says he's in Ann Arbor. So there you go.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Check this
That's where I was
out.
born.
Like just listen to the sounds he makes.
Sounds like he's like having sex or some shit like that. What the fuck?
Jacking off.
Reminds me of that.
It's like Duke Nukem going right against the wall.
Honey works on
They got a
Brave. You
kidney
just have to
stone,
first
maybe?
go to settings at cookie control, set it to allow all cookies. It blocks third-party cookies by default. Chrome add-ons will work by default with Brave. Brave just oh, okay. It's just a tweaked Chrome is what it says.
Oh, okay.
I know that. Don't kidney stones like
what
cause you
This-
to lose control of bladder sometimes?
You know how I found this guy? I found this guy because I was looking for people who think they're being gang stalked, and this guy's channel is all about like being gang stalked. But I mean, oh,
it's making me pee on myself. Record this.
It's making me pee on myself.
Soul Steel Ninja in the chat is saying their donation didn't go through.
This must be a fetish.
Someone's donation didn't go through?
Soul Steel Ninja.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why that didn't come through. I want to say, Ben, I appreciate how hard you work. You constantly have topics to talk about. And even on DP Underground, Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know. I'm glad you enjoy it. Clap, clap, clap.
Clap, clap, clap.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Whoa. Oh, damn it. Whoa. Oh, shit.
I don't know why he's filming this. Like, if I was about to piss myself in public, I would not want
You'd be
to,
caring more about trying to find a bathroom?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's like taking screenshots. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. He's about to do it. 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 Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh, here it goes. Here it goes.
Thanks.
Oh, no, wait.
Did he just say thanks?
On the right? Oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that don't look too safe.
He won't go. They told him where the bathroom is, and he's like, that don't look too safe.
So he does not want to go to the bathroom. It's his own choice.
What the fuck is that thing?
Someone in chat was like, he's gonna piss! He's gonna piss! He's gonna piss!
Someone said troll. There's no way this is a troll. He pisses all over himself. If that's a troll, then that's
that thing.
He keeps taking these.
Dedication.
He keeps taking these weird screenshots too.
ASMR is getting weird.
Oh shit!
Now he's gonna.
Oh, look at that!
They told him where the bathroom was, and now he's just gonna. He was like, "That doesn't look safe."
Vehicle.
That vehicle.
Shit! What the fuck?
Here he goes. He's gonna piss.
Oh, fuck!
He's gonna
I'm pissing
piss.
on myself. God
Oh no!
damn.
Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
Oh. Fuck!
Oh my god!
Why does it? He sounded like he was just that either he really had to fucking go.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Holy shit.
Why?
Let it flow.
Let it flow. Let it flow. Let it flow.
Oh my god!
Look, guys, I'm pissing on myself. Look, oh
Someone said,
my god!
Could still be a troll.
Oh my
How?
God.
That's dedication. If this is a troll to go out in public and piss all over yourself.
I don't know if it's piss all over yourself because there are technically. I have seen like stupid fucking inventions where it's like, here's a little tube that you can basically like put around your dick, and it's like a tube that goes all the way down your legs, so that way when like you go to piss yourself, it's not like on yourself.
Maybe
all the way down the tube.
If this was a troll, who would it be bait for? Like, I don't get it. In what context would this be a troll? It's just. I think this is like.
I got you. I pissed on your floor.
The thing is, though, he could be doing this for like views and stuff. Like, there's so many things that people would do for views and clicks and likes and all that stuff.
You think this dude's on Fiverr?
I'll piss all over myself and give you a shout out.
Yeah.
You need a promo video for your urinal cake company? I'll piss all over myself in a video just for you.
Patreon money?
If you want your fetish for somebody to piss themselves in public so you can whack it, here you go.
Hey Ben, how much money for you to do this?
He just wants a diaper sponsorship, dude.
For me to go out and piss all over myself in public?
Yes.
I don't know, man. You know how quick that piss is gonna get cold too. Oh my god! Do you see the snow everywhere?
Do it in the summer. That'll smell glorious.
Oh my god! I should eat a bunch of asparagus before I do it too. That'd be beautiful.
Put on the bus.
Oh, that's just you being an asshole at that point.
Yeah.
Don't be Asperg.
I should eat asparagus every day and piss in a bucket for a week.
Oh
and
my
then,
god.
and then bring it into the studio and try to get Billy to puke.
Don't tell Billy you're doing this. Just spring it on him one day.
Just have it like an airtight bucket, and you have it like the lid on top of it. And
What
then
you
just,
got in the bucket there, Ben?
Yeah, it just not even let.
I'll be like, oh, this is the
have,
mystery bucket, Billy.
And just like have like a little plug, so that way all you gotta do is just a little thing, and like it wouldn't even really be noticeable.
and then just like watch as he reacts to the smell.
Yeah.
All this talk about piss,
face just going horrible.
All this talk about piss really has me having to piss. So I'll be back in a minute, guys.
Same.
All right, back again. And we'll come back to everyone on the panel shortly. All right. Yeah, that was crazy, wasn't that? Holy shit. Man, I had to piss so bad. It was forever. It just wouldn't stop. The piss would not stop coming out of me. It was an eternal flow of piss that was never ending, like fucking Angel Falls, basically. All right, what do we got here?
Time for stupid commercials.
It's always $14.95. Anyway, guys, this isn't the old school version of stupid ads where we guess the price. These are just old ads that I decided to download that I think are interesting. These are all 80s and 90s ads. There might be one from the 70s too, I think. Check this out. This is 1998's iMac commercial when Jeff Goldblum was actually the spokesman for Apple computers. And they sold it saying, like, if you don't want to fuck with a complicated computer, get an iMac because that's for easy use of computers.
The PC. Perpetually complicated.
It's not complicated. I mean, if you know to put the circular peg in the circular hole, you know how to fit the right plug into the right outlet on the back of the computer.
Profusely corded, physically conspicuous, particularly costly. Oh, no.
Costly? I mean, what the fuck? Apple is so overpriced, it's insane.
There's the new iMac, which is about as...
You only have to worry about one mouse button with the iMac. Only one mouse button. That's like the worst thing. When you buy a new Mac, you get a mouse with one button. So you have to go out and buy a good mouse for it instead.
As you can get.
Here's a little more.
Two roads diverged on the way to the internet. And I took the faster, simpler, less expensive, and far more colorful one.
Look at that fucking mouse.
And that made all the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was the only version of iMac that had a CRT monitor, and then after that, they started having flat screen monitors. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with all-in-one PCs. You know, if it serves the purpose that you get it for, like if you're mainly just using it for web browsing and like consuming media, like watching videos and stuff, then that's an all-in-one's not bad. They serve their purpose. That's why they're made, right? I had one of those iMacs, the one that was on the big like metal thing that you could move up and down. So you could like, it was like a metal joint. I think it was the iMac G4 is what I had. It had a flat screen on this big metal joint that you could like pivot up and down. I don't know if anyone had ever seen those. I had 3 Amigas. Amiga was great. Amiga had so many good games. Check out this commercial. This is going to blow your mind.
Dropping off your film is like dropping off your kids. You worry. Bye, son. See you soon. Relax. If you see this Kodak Color Watch seal, they'll get great developing.
Thanks, Dad!
Here's another one. Here's another one. Look at that sweater vest.
Ask me,
he wears a sweater vest over a long sleeve collared shirt.
Bill, how do I get on TV? Well, I don't know how to. Find yourself a Pepsi challenge booth. Take the challenge, but don't pick Coke. See, if you do, the guys will never ever put you in the commercial. So if you want to try and be on TV, pick the other guy. You say like, letter Z, letter Z. That's right. But if you want big taste, big refreshment, pick a winner. This one, Coke is it.
And I put a little bit of extra pills in it for you. A little bit of skibbity bobbity bobbity.
Coke is it.
Wow. Oh, they're taking the Pepsi challenge.
You picked Coke, right?
Yeah.
What'd they say?
Just one thing.
What?
Next.
No. Yeah. This is a television first, the first time we've ever seen anyone who picked Coke in the Pepsi Challenge. But in the real world, you'll find a lot more of them. Fact is, more people enjoy the big taste and big refreshment of the real thing. Yeah, this one, Coke is it.
Coke is it.
Coke is it. I do not remember these commercials. This must have been before
Pepsi Challenge booth.
Was old enough to remember shit.
The Pepsi guys never show on TV. He's tasting. He's smiling.
Is that Steve Irwin? That looks like Steve Irwin. I don't.
Big Coke.
Fuck.
Now, are we ever going to see this on TV? Ha! No kidding. The truth is, year after year, people drink more Coke than Pepsi. That's fact. Big taste, big refreshment. Let the other guys play the games. You know the score. Coke is there.
Okay, I'm done with the Coke. I'm done with the Coke commercials. How about this one?
You know what's so cool about Jell-O gelatin pops? They taste just like Jell-O gelatin. But they've got a handle. So, while your right hand is doing this, your left hand can be doing this or, you know. But if your left hand sees how much fun your right hand is having...
Never had a pudding pop in my life.
It won't want to be left out. Now you have to share. Jell-O gelatin pops. Real Jell-O gelatin, only cooler.
Isn't it crazy to think, like, no one would want to hire Bill Cosby as a spokesman now. But back in the 80s, dude was making bank being the spokesman for all these different brands.
You ask kids why their beds aren't made, and they say, I forgot. You ask them.
And they always say Bill Cosby sweater. I mean, there you go. Dude loved his sweaters.
They're walking with muddy sneakers through the living room. They say, oh, I forgot. But these same kids will ask you, Dad, how come you didn't fix any Jell-O pudding tonight? You said you would 2 years ago, August 12th at 7:31 p.m. You had red sweater on and some loafers, brown. And you say, I forgot. And they say, Dad, you're grounded.
Wow.
Jell-O pudding. You can't be a kid without it.
Jell-O pudding. Check this out. Check out this old commercial. This is a commercial that was for Rallies or Checkers, depending on where you live. And it actually has Seth Green in it when he was a little... I mean, he was like a teenager, a younger teenager.
So, let me repeat your order here. That'll be 1 double cheeseburger, ching. Large fries and a large soda, ching. 2 kids meals and 2 medium sodas, ching. 1 chicken sandwich, large fries, and a vanilla milkshake. Bada bing. That'll be $62.75.
When I was in elementary school, there was a rumor, because this commercial got really popular, and there was a rumor that this guy died. It was like, yeah, you know that cha-ching guy, man, he's dead, man.
We're a little shy.
Remember when you could feed your whole family fast food for less than $10? Well, at Rally's, you still can.
Wow, yeah, there's no way this is still around. You get a whole combo meal for less than $2? No fucking way.
Rally's has it right.
So one more, and then I'm probably going to end this stream, but I'll be back later tonight. I'm going to do a stream later as well. But here's the Wendy's commercial I was talking about. Look at this shit.
You've seen biker bars and piano bars, handlebars, even Zanzibars, but you've never seen nothing like when.
Look at this. There's the garden bar, then there's the Mexican Fiesta. And there's also, like, a pasta bar, too.
Super Bar, where you get all you can eat for one low price. Only at Wendy's. The best burgers in the business and a whole lot more.
Now after 4 p.m. you can have dinner at Wendy's all-you-can-eat Super Bar for only...
For $2.99! What the fuck?
$2.99. It's a dinner deal that lights up the night, so try it tonight.
It costs more for a gallon of gas here. That's just crazy shit. By the way, there's a lot of people in the general chat over on the Discord if you guys want to hop in there and talk to some people. If you haven't joined, follow the link. Everyone can have fun in the voice chat. I'm going to go. I'm going to stream later. Thanks to everyone for watching, everyone who downloaded the browser and supports the show. I really appreciate it, guys. I'll be back later. Later.
In the beginning, there was nothing. And then there was the Drunken Peasants Podcast.
Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken peasants from the strangest corners of the internet, gonna get TP'd by Billy and Ben. You know where you can find them at. Get ready, cause they're gonna kick your drunken peasants. Drunken peasants. Drunken peasants. Drunken peasants.